I'm Andy Pilgrim with Automobile. Welcome to another edition of Pro Racers Take. At the NCM Motorsports Park today, we have the 2020 BMW M2 Competition. I've been wanting to get this one here for quite a while, and I'm taking it on track right now. Okay, running onto the straight at NCM Motorsports Park, this long straightaway, more than half a mile. Getting a lot of feedback that people enjoy the fact that we do this, and they're interested how quickly some cars get to 100, 120, 150 and then slow down. M2 Comp's doing well. All right, I'm sure it's going to get to 150, or at least I was. Okay, here we go. 152 before the shutdown, 152. All right, let's do the 0 to 60 and quarter mile. 0 to 4 seconds, 4 seconds flat, it's about what I expected. 12.1, excellent. That's really good. Let's go get the hot lap started. All right, we're coming on to the straightaway through 23, and there's a load of cones on the straightaway. As you can tell, we did this at a different time. The police department were there doing some work on the straightaway, but I could make it through, so it's good. All right, here we go. Into turn one. Good speed. High 70s, excellent. These are not super sticky tires. PS4S is a great tire. It's a fantastic rain tire, and it does well, but it is not super high grip, mechanical grip tire, but it's doing well. I really have to get the back end of the car in check, but because of the wheelbase of the M2 is a bit longer than some other sports cars, you do get time to catch it, which is really good. You can actually play with the car. It's a little more easy, less snappy. Hard brake into 5, and you can see I catch the rear, but I catch it 2 or 3 times through here just to control it, but it wasn't super snappy. Got it woed down for 6. It's a place that needs a lot of good braking. Yeah, definitely sliding around, but again, you've got to maintain your momentum. It's okay to slide a little bit as long as you can maintain your momentum, using every inch of the track. When you have a car around 3,600 pounds, you definitely have to pay attention to where the tires are, how much slide you've got, because it takes a while to recover. Enjoy coming up to Deception, flick it in there as best I can, control it a little bit, but we carry good speed and rocketing over the top here out of 13, 100 miles an hour. Love the way this thing sounds. Oh, almost flat through 15, 128. Got it going. And carry the speed through 16. Again, just tiny little slides to keep that momentum going. It's so much fun to drive this car around here. I can't even tell you. It's awesome. Flip it down into the sinkhole. Careful through here, very careful. You don't have a high grip tire and you get wide, you're going to have a big slide and cost yourself a ton of time if you get wide anywhere through here. Even a little bit of a controlled slide there on the exit of 23. That's not something I usually want to do. Let's see what we get. 2 minutes 19.61. That is a really good time. Superb for the M2 Comp. Let's go back to the garage. Underneath the hood on the M2, we have a 3-liter twin-power turbo inline 6-cylinder engine, produces 405 horsepower and 406 pounds-feet of torque. I want to point out some of the detail differences between the M2 and the M2 Competition. We'll start at the front. Grille openings are a little bit bigger on the front, allows more airflow, which is a good thing for cooling. And if you look at the bottom, the splitter area there are 3 clear indentations in there that you find on the Competition, not on the M2. And the M2 Comp has the M mirrors. These mirrors are designed to emphasize the wide stance of the car, and they certainly do that. And at the back, you have the M diffuser and also the beveled black chrome tailpipes. One other point on the back of the car is the flared fenders. When you're following this car, it looks superb, aggressive for sure. You've got the spoiler lip on the back, which is nice, but these flared fenders, along with the M bits on the bottom, it just looks fantastic. I really like the wheels that come with the M2 Competition. The car rolls on the Michelin PS4S tires. It's a 245/35 by 19 up front and the 265 by 35 by 19 in the rear. The comp does come with a solid brake package. You've got 15.7-inch rotors up front with 6 piston calipers, and you've got 4 piston calipers in the back on a 15-inch rotor. And I'll tell you what, as I found out on track, the brakes are up to the task, and you do need a solid brake package when you've got a 3,600-pound car. On the practicality side, the M2 Comp obviously has the M2 trunk. Almost 14 cubic feet of storage in here. That is a pretty good sized trunk. And also, using these handles that you see on most BMWs here, you can roll the seats forward and you've got a great pass-through area. And one other point in the trunk, you've got this flap here. You pull the flap up, you've got access to the battery there, and also you've got the tire inflation equipment on the right side. Nice little cubby hole for that. We already talked about the practicality from the back end, the trunk and the seats folding down, but this side, there are 4 seats in here. Let me show you how easy it is to get in with my seat in the driver's position that I want, and I'm not sliding the seat forward to get in either. Check it out. I've actually got quite a bit of room back here. Got about 4 inches between my knees and the back of the seat, and if I go back and I really did have to spend a couple of hours in the back of the car here, or even longer for that matter, I don't think there'd be any issue. It's definitely not a bad place to be. This car definitely is a driver's car, so let's concentrate on the performance stuff. Steering wheel, most important. It's a little bit thinner than the M4 CS wheel that I drove about a month ago. I think I like the thinner wheel better. Has some nice M stitching on here and not much in the way of controls on the wheel. That I like very much. The seats are superb. They're well contoured. They light up at night with this M2 badge on there, which is great. But they've got the nice blue stitching in there. They hold you in tremendously on the track, which you've already seen. And speaking of on track, this car does have the DCT, the double clutch automatic gearbox, not the manual. I use the paddles on track most of the time because I found that I could do the gear shifts myself better than just waiting for the transmission to do it. Sometimes it was in the wrong gear. As far as the other parts in the car is driver usability, the infotainment system is touchscreen up here, and also we've got the iDrive controller, which works well. There's no issue with that. I don't use that stuff very much, as I often say. The other buttons are easily come to hand, and I'll tell you, it's a great place to spend some time. But for driving, the seat, the steering, and the way the car runs, this is what really makes the M2 Competition for me. It's a great driver's car. I'm going to head out to do some corner shots, but before I do, you've got to hear this exhaust. As with several of the BMWs we've tested recently, the exhaust is something pretty special. That is awesome. A great time with the M2 Competition. This is indeed a super driver's car. When you're inside the driver compartment, you feel completely connected. As soon as you start driving it, you feel connected, and you can tell the engineers have given you a chassis you can pretty much do anything you want with, as you could tell from the drifting. And when I drive this car, it reminds me of the old E36 M3, which is definitely one of my favorite BMWs. And it's practical for everyday use. I'll tell you what, for the money, you're definitely getting a car that feels special.